Double Game Week 26, we made it. In this video, we're going to look at Rice or Gabriel for captaincy, as well as should we use the triple captain chip. We'll also explore another chip that I'm going to be probably using in the next couple of game weeks and show you how I'm planning for the team to look so I can use it at that point in time soon. Welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Femi. Let's jump into it. Okay, so the first double game week of the season, and it's a little bit of a weird one. Arsenal's two games are almost a week apart with an FA Cup game in between them. So really, in terms of planning, it doesn't allow you to necessarily pick who you think is going to start both games. We will get to the two players, though, that are probably going to be on the minds of most players to captain in Gabriel and Rice. And there could be some lineup tweaks. You know, there could be an injury that we have to deal with from the FA Cup game and what have you, even in the first game of the double. But ultimately, we can just do our best and plan for the worst. And we all know that having three Arsenal players is so advantageous given how strong they are. They're currently, leading the league on a 6-point lead against City behind them. So ultimately, you're going to think of, okay, I need my three Arsenal. Who are they? I already did a video on why I thought Martinelli would be a great option. And now with the news and Trossard's status of being a little bit unsure if he'll play maybe the first game, because the game week deadline is tomorrow, it really does lend that Martinelli could be a solid pick. But I know a lot of us have already made our Arsenal moves. Who are you? If you're still looking for a player, I highly consider him to take a look at. But ultimately, it's your choice, as I didn't want to use two transfers to get a striker because Gyökeres, with 2 goals against Sunderland, would be such a strong option in a double game week. The whole point of a double game week is to take risks like this because these are players that others will not have and are not considering, and you can get that big differential to get a green arrow. Unfortunately, this season, with so many people on Haaland, it's so difficult to get green arrows. So I finished on almost 70 points, 69 points, and I got a slight red. So I'm looking for any edge I can get, and that's why I love these types of differentials like a Martinelli, and we'll see if he can come to fruition in game week, double game week 26. With that said, let's just jump into the comparison of Rice versus Gabriel. I honestly think there's not much between Gabriel and Rice. When you look at their stats, and let's start with Gabriel, you see his player card here. He has 7.1 points per match, which is the highest in the league, and he did miss around 7 games. So that's just incredible numbers. He's absolutely essential to have in your teams. But also when you look at his points, 135 points and 18 bonus points. He's a 90-minute man. He's nailed for 90 minutes, and he has 4 double-digit hauls. All impressive stats. And all reasons why you should potentially not only captain him, but triple captain him. And we'll get to my thoughts on the triple captain a little bit later. Then, when you flash to Rice, you'll see very similar here. He's at 5.6 points per match, so a dip in points per match, but he has 134 points, only 1 point less, and he has 18 bonus points as well. He plays 90 minutes, and he has 4 double-digit hauls. So, if you're blindfolded and asked to pick between the two of them, there's not much in it. The view that Gabriel is more likely to score versus Rice, I'm not sure if that's really necessarily true. I think they both have good opportunities in these fixtures, especially Wolves, the worst team in the league, and against a Brentford side that can definitely score and be at home. The clean sheet potential, I think, is a little bit dampened for Gabriel, which is slightly swaying me for Declan Rice. I also think, and when I look at both games and I look at them both as being away games, what that suits is players finding the spaces, right, to attack these teams, especially if Arsenal is potentially countering them. I think Declan Rice, with the way he carries the ball, gives him a little bit more upside from like a goal potential and obviously from an assist potential. We're going to get to a tail of the tape in just a second. I think obviously Declan has more potential there. And so when I look at these, stylistically, I look at Brentford, I look at Wolves, I think I can see Rice finding some pockets of space to get some shots off to potentially get a goal or two. And as we saw with Cole Palmer with the hat trick, I think the third goal, he was wide open in the penalty box. And that's a space that I think Declan Rice could arrive on and hit one into the net as well. So let me know what you guys are thinking in terms of Gabriel or Rice. In terms of triple captain, I'm just not ready there yet to use it. I'm not really feeling it. And I hope that, both players do well. As you can see, I have my Arsenal jersey on. But ultimately, it's not the right timing for me. Haaland looked really serious before that game against Liverpool, which they won. He looked like he was motivating his teammates, and I still think he's such a strong triple captain option should they get a blank double game week. And I typically do like to captain mids anyways with a triple captain chip, as I've said on this channel before. So I think using it on a mid potentially down the line could also be beneficial. And then finally, I'm in a mini league that I'm currently winning, but having the triple captain chip for the last game of the season when there's so many wild scores can also be something of note that I like to do. Just to secure that win there. So let me know what you guys are doing. But those are my thoughts. And so now let's take a look at this other view of when to use this chip that I think you guys should all be considering. So we can't plan everything in FPL, but one thing that we can do is look at the fixtures to come. And I think we all should be looking at game week 30 for bench boost. The reason is really quite obvious. Look at these fixtures. Arsenal has Everton at home. City has West Ham away, a current team in the relegation fight. Brentford has Wolves at home. Sunderland has Brighton at home. United has Villa at home. And Palace has Leeds at home. Those fixtures, I do not think you're going to get better, even on a double. Because I think the whole notion of going for a double game week is great, but sometimes the player might not play in the second game, or he might be too injured, or he might come off the bench. So although there's this view of getting all these players on a double, it doesn't necessarily always work like that. The fixtures I just described are mint fixtures for players that a lot of us already have in our teams, and I think there's just a few adjustments you would need to do, which I'll show you in a second with my team about getting on a pathway to get to game week 30. And then the beauty of it too is you can slowly start to take out players that the fixture run are starting to end. So Chelsea's fixture run ends in 2 game weeks. So you can start thinking about getting your 1 or 2 or 3 Chelsea assets out and replacing them with players who will be playing in this potential game week bench boost game week in game week 30. And it just really, really works for my team. So let me jump in and show you what that looks like for my squad. And let's go and take a look at that now. Okay, so here's how the team looks, and this is what we're going to be doing in game week 30. So for the bench boost, so potentially this is what I would do. So the Chelsea assets come out as the fixture run is over. So Chalobah and Enzo come out. And then Martinelli is going to come out because most likely he's not going to be my third Arsenal player. And then Mane can come out. So that's 4 transfers. So I have 3 transfers right now, so I can easily get to this and I can do it in stages. But ultimately, what I want to do here, I can actually target, a player that everyone has sort of moved on from in Saka. He's 9.9 million and he's only 9.2% selected. So huge differential now. He's in that differential category. I can go pick up Brobby as Sunderland plays Brighton at home in game week 30. So I have Brobby there. And then I have to pick up a third Brentford player. So let me go get Dango, who had the goal and assist against Newcastle away. He was at the African Cup of Nations, so he's definitely fresh in terms of how much minutes he can play. And Brighton is pushing for Europe, so a great, excellent pick. He's cheaper than Sade as well, so you just get that upside there. And then the third defender, okay, I know that Palace is not doing well right now, but they did have a 1-0 win in their most recent game in game week 25. And you have Munoz, who's basically a right winger playing defense. So now look at this team. We're going to have, the goalkeeper, I'm not sure who Dubravka plays, but look, you'd have Royce against Brighton at home with Ballard, a place where they're, undefeated and do so well there. Sunderland. You'd have Gabriel at home against Everton. You'd have Collins at home against Wolves. Diouf, not sure what that matchup would be. You have Bruno Fernandes at home against Villa. Dango at home against Wolves. Semenyo away to West Ham. Rice at home to Everton. Saka at home to Everton. Thiago at home to Wolves. And Haaland away to Villa. So I think that's this really strong team, guys. Really consider it. Look at it yourself for your squad, what bench boost game week 30 looks like. And now let's jump into how the team did in game week 25. So game week 25, we finished on 69 points. It's tough to get a green arrow these days. I got a slight red arrow, still in the top 5K. But let's look at the team. Dubravka with a 1-pointer. Burnley is struggling so strongly. They just don't have it together right now, and not sure if he's going to get me any more points moving forward. Hopefully some save points, which is why I sort of brought him in. And he's 4.0, so can't really complain. Chalobah got DEFCON. He still hasn't got that goal, but he's one of the highest scoring defenders, so just probably going to stick with him. Diouf, my pick of Diouf. I knew he would do well. He had a bunch of assists when he started the season. He only was missing because of AFCON. He's a winner, right? Which obviously lends itself and will help a struggling squad such as West Ham. So he had a 9-pointer and great performance by him with an assist. Gabriel, just Mr. Consistent, averaging almost 7 points a game. Don't really need to talk about him too much. Enzo, 2-pointer. Chelsea assets are coming out in 2 weeks time, so no problem there. Bruno Fernandes, 20-pointer, and, just a strong, almost perma captain, we'll say, but I'm happy he got the goal because I would have had a much bigger red arrow if it wasn't for Bruno. Martinelli with the assist, and that's sort of why I put him in on these counters, especially in away games and counters in the second half of games. Martinelli can be a difference maker, and he had that nice assist to Gyökeres using his speed to create that. And then Rice, got his DEFCON with a 5-pointer. Semenyo with 2 points. I'm still expecting big things from Semenyo now that City are confirmed in the title race, having beaten Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield. And then up front, Haaland, he came back. He looked menacing, like I said earlier. He looked like he was going to do something, and he did. Goal and assist. Controversial game at the end, but it's the Premier League. Wild things happen. And then Thiago, he looked quite good, linking up play, had the penalty goal, and, it looks like he's firing. And then on the bench, Royce with 1 point against Arsenal, Mane with 2, Collins not playing again. It's a weird situation there. Not sure what that means. And Ballard with 1. So that's how the team looks. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.